Okay.
Kind of like
Yeah.
out there because it's not really. See, here's the correctional which I was telling you about.
Oh my gosh.
But they're just it's because of the.
Are they good?
I'll tell you later.
Wow.
Nothing. I mean, it's no big deal. This is an annual occurrence. So.
Okay. Alrighty. And you're back. Welcome back. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning, everyone. Welcome to the December 12th meeting of the Board of County Commissioners. Madam Clerk, first item, please.
First item is item 1, proclamations, presentations. Presentation of Kansas Association of Counties Certificate of 32 Years of Service to Marion Brown, Sheriff's Office, Marilyn Coleman, Corrections, and Vicki Hayes, Health Agency.
If we could have those department directors come up as well as the employees come up front here, please. I believe we have two. Is there? Okay, that's all right. Brian, do you want to take this back? And Marilyn, oh, I think I just had hers. Yes, there we go. What we're handing out is they are certificates recognizing, well, first of all, let me make sure I have the right one. Support Services Manager, I just want to make sure, and Vicki Hayes with the Health Agency. I'll come around. Commissioners, as you know, we belong to the Kansas Association of Counties, and they recognize employees for their service, as we do, every year at their annual conference. And this year, we want to honor Vicki Hayes, and she has 32 years of service with Shawnee County. So, and I'll present this to you. And this is for Marion Brown with the Shawnee County Community. Don't go anywhere.
Nice try.
Shawnee County Communications Engineer Marion Brown for 32 years as well. So thank you for your years of service. And I would invite both of you, the sheriff or your department director, Alice, to say any words, and then you can sure say something if you would like. Come on over here.
I'll defer ladies first.
Oh, thank you, Sheriff. I just want to say that on behalf of the Shawnee County Health Agency, thank you for your 32 years of service. It's very commendable, and I know that the work that you do is very important to the community and those that we serve. So thanks, Vicki.
Thank you. I likewise, I like to make congratulations for all the many years or so, but I think this is just, it simplifies for the employees that we have that work for this county as well. And definitely we have the dedication of that many years and what he's been doing. And he touches so many lives by having that communication and being a tech. So we talked about him yesterday at another recognition there, and it's just appropriate that the counties recognize their employees and how valuable they are to the public. So I want to thank you as well. Thank you.
We know you're not going anywhere anytime soon, but I felt that it's important that we honor our employees, so that the first time we don't really get to meet you is when you're retiring. So it just seems odd. So do you want to say anything? Thank you for being here this morning. Thank you for all you do for Shawnee County.
Sir, thank you for your service. Thank you very much.
If I may, I
Yes,
just
sir.
want, when talking about dedication of the
Thank you.
employees, yesterday we had a reception for Stan Blanchard.
Oh, yes.
As well, 30-plus years or so. He's retiring as the end of this year or so. So just another example of our fine employees that we have there. It just so happens it's another our communications engineer. He's
Yeah.
been very significant in the radio system that we're going to. He's been a valuable asset to that, so we're losing a lot of good experience
Yeah.
going out there, but we'll look to replace that.
And he's in the back of the room hiding back there.
Oh.
Oh, my goodness, why didn't
They're
you
staying
say
right there.
something? Congratulations. Well, and also, just to mention, there were 19 people who received the 24-year certificate from the following departments: the Planning Department, Sheriff Corrections, Parks and Recreation, Treasurer and Appraiser. And there were 25 people who received the 16-year certificate, and then 42 people who received their 8-year certificate. So we have a very dedicated employees in Shawnee County, a very dedicated workforce, so thank you for all you do. We should have had you up here, Stan.
I'm sorry?
We should have had you up here, Stan.
Oh,
How
no,
many,
no.
how many, how many years? How many?
34.
Yeah, 34. That's pretty amazing, pretty amazing. All right, thank you, Madam Clerk.
Wouldn't the next item be the same?
It would
Happy
not, I think we
birthday to
skipped
you.
right over that.
Here we
That's
go.
why I went
Happy
quickly.
birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Commissioner Bueller. Happy birthday to you, and many more. See, that's why I started the Pledge of Allegiance before you got in here, so I thought I could get through
It
that.
wasn't gonna last.
Thank you very much. All right.
And your birthday was on,
It's today, actually.
it actually is today, okay.
December 12th, 1964. Yeah, I know, crazy. All right.
Item 3, consent agenda.
Are there questions on the consent agenda?
Madam Chair, I would move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
There's a motion by Commissioner Cook,
I'll second that motion.
second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor of the motion say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0.
Item 4, new business. A, County Clerk, number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Madam Chair, this morning we have one set of vouchers dated December the 11th, 2013, total amount of $534,893.62. And I'll make a motion to approve the vouchers as presented.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion by Commissioner Archer, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you. Item A2, consider correction orders. I told you they would get here, they have. This is an annual occurrence when we have the transition from the prior year tax roll to the new tax roll. There's always a gap in time. Fortunately for us, most of this is added value of, from like personal property and, you know, so it's, there's nothing major on there, but it's just,
Okay.
the numbers look big.
The numbers are big, yes. Thank you. I'll move approval of the correction orders.
I'll second that.
Second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0.
Item B, corrections, number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C 597-2013, 8th amendment to the health services agreement with Horizon Health Inc. through fiscal year 2019, with 3 years locked in and 2 one-year options with a 0% increase for fiscal year 2014 and fiscal year 2015, followed by a fixed 3% increase in the successive mandatory and optional years.
Good morning, Commissioners. First, Madam Chair, let me say that 29 looks really good on you.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
And I'm not trying to sway your vote. The item that you have before you is an attempt to try to keep control over the health services budget by doing some negotiating with the company. They have been good to work with over the years that we've had problems with our financial resources. So what we did was we negotiated with them to get a 0% increase for the next 2 successive years, and in return we extended the contract with a moderate increase. And this 3% that we're looking at is considerably less than what the contract originally had called for when it was drafted in the early 2000s. So I think this is a reasonable negotiation that they've entered into with us, and I recommend it be passed.
Thank you. Are there questions? on the Eighth Amendment, though?
Yeah,
Wow. Okay,
some of those amendments have just been cleaning up language.
right,
So
right,
it hadn't all been
Okay.
years.
right.
Madam Chair, I would move for approval of the Eighth Amendment to the contract with Horizon.
And there is a motion by Commissioner Cook,
And I'll second that.
second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor of the motion say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0.
Item B2, consider approval of emergency repair to the main water line for fire suppression at the Juvenile Detention Center and authorization and execution of contract C 598-2013 with McElroy's in the amount of $10,545 for the repair.
I have to first give a little background and also a little bit of an update. On December 4th, we were notified that there was a massive flood in progress in the Juvenile Detention Center. And when they tracked it down, what they learned was the water line that runs from the city supply into the building for fire suppression at the Juvenile Detention Center had broken underground somewhere and had flooded sideways into part of the building. We are now on fire watch, which means that every 30 minutes the entire building has to be checked to make sure there's not any kind of problem with fire. And we will have to maintain that until this is repaired. That's the history of the matter, and this bid was what they expected it would cost to cut into the floor, dig it out, find the problem, fix the problem, and close it all back up. What they've learned over the last couple of days working on it is that the plans that we received in 1998, the drawings, are not accurate. And so they are now trying to use a different method to locate the breach. So that we expect there will be some additional cost because of that. But we still plan to proceed as quickly as we can and still manage it within our budget, the repairs. So I just wanted to provide that information for you all.
So at this time, the amount is $10,545.
Right.
So we may expect more.
Some additional, because they have to do some searching and then they'll have to cut once they actually identify the location where it's breached.
Thank you. Questions?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
has this affected any of the rest of the water for the facility, whether it's drinking or facilities?
Thankfully, this was the one of the two lines coming in that does not affect that. This is strictly for fire suppression. It ties straight into our fire suppression system that's in our control center, that if we do have a fire, they can then turn on the water and it goes out into the building. And so this is not at all affecting drinking or other water in the system.
Okay. And then, given that we don't know exactly where the breach is, I'm assuming that the water has been shut off, so we're not
Right.
continuing to lose water.
Correct. They did that on the night of the 4th. The city turned off that line. And so it's an empty line right now, and that's why we have to go into fire watch, because there's no water to deal with any kind of a problem.
Commissioner Archer?
Yeah, I would like to compliment the management and leadership for recognizing the problem quickly and then taking, a systematic approach to resolving the problem, even though it's going to be on a temporary basis. And I think it was well done. I
Appreciate
think
that.
it's well done, and accordingly, I'll make a motion to approve the request.
There's a motion by Commissioner Archer,
Second.
second by Commissioner Cook, and I will chime in on what Commissioner Archer mentioned. Brian, you and your staff do a great job of letting the commissioners know right away when there's an issue. We don't like surprises.
Yeah.
I think I can speak for all of us. And so, when we see the article in the paper and we know what's going on, and we can then let our constituents know that, yes, things are being taken care of. So I appreciate that.
And I just want to say for the record that it's the maintenance staff were the ones that were quickly on site
Good.
and troubleshooting.
Our thanks to them as well. All those in favor of the motion say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0.
Item C, Public Works Solid Waste. Number 1, consider approval of emergency purchase in an amount of $3,830.12 for evaluation and repair drawings for a traffic signal at 77th and South Topeka Boulevard that was damaged.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tom Block with Public Works and Solid Waste. This is a Public Works item, and this item is directly related to an item that was presented to you on Monday regarding an incident that had occurred back at the end of September, in which a contractor working in the vicinity of South Topeka Boulevard and 77th Street inadvertently left his dump truck bed up, clipping a traffic signal mast. On Monday's item, the commission approved the payment to the contractor who did the repair work. This item is the design work, the emergency design work that was performed by Finney and Turnipseed to have that work completed and also develop a quick set of plans and specifications for the repair. The amount of their work, or their services, was $3,830.12. We would initially pay for that out of our special highway fund, but then we will be submitting a claim to the truck drivers company's insurance company for full reimbursement. So if there's any questions regarding this, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Thank you. Questions? Move approval of the request. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Item D, Information Technology. Number 1, consider approval of request to purchase a training voucher from Century Training in Leawood, Kansas for training for 3 employees at a cost of $6,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Mark Price, IT. Here to answer any questions you might have about this item.
Are there any questions?
Yep.
Yes,
If
Commissioner
I
Archer.
may,
Mhm.
Madam Chair. And I read this is for 3 training modules from what I understand, and they basically dealt with the implementation of Windows.
It's for the implementation of Server 2012.
Okay.
Currently, we're all Server 2008 with some of the new systems we're bringing online, our new tax package. We're going to Server 2012. And it's a little bit different, kind of like the change from Windows 7 to Windows 8. And so this will just get us up to speed on it. That's what the first course is. The second course deals with some of the more technical level, some new features that are in 2012 that we might be able to implement here in the county to do further cost savings, do some consolidation from some systems we currently have that Windows might actually be able to handle.
But is this, if I may, is this integral to the implementation of the virtualization project, or is this something that we're not going to need after next year? I
It
guess.
would be more integral to the tax package, the CIC. Part of the requirement for that is Server 2012. And we were able to get the servers out, but to fully understand and best manage those systems, this will allow us to do that. Also, all the little intricacies of 2012 from where we are now to where we are going.
And those are going to be important on a going forward basis?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll make a motion to approve the request.
Second.
There's a motion to approve by Commissioner Archer, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Item E, Commission. Number 1, consider appointment of Fire Division Chief Jack Colley to fill an unexpired term of Chief Neil Hicks in the on the Ambulance Advisory Board.
And Commissioner Cook, you serve on that
I do.
advisory board. Did you want to make any comments?
Mr. Cawley was able to meet with us last night for the Ambulance Advisory Board. Chief Hicks, after a long service, is retiring, and so this is, I think, a good replacement for him. I do endorse it, and I would ask the Commission to approve it.
Okay.
I'd make the motion for the approval of that spot.
And I'll second.
There's a motion by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0.
Item 5, Administrative Communications.
Is there any?
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Cole, Department of Corrections. Often in the field of corrections, we try to figure out and try to implement programs that will benefit our public and the inmates both. And I just happy to announce that in January, we're going to be able to start up 2 new programs. One of them is going to be, we'll be able to fully implement our video visitation, which will not only expand visitation for the inmates to give them more hours to visit their family, loved ones, even their attorneys can get into this system, but it allows those people to not worry about parking, traveling during cold weather, because this is something they can run and do off the internet. It still will have the controls of being recorded and things like that, but it will expand our video visitation to our families and to the inmates, so we're happy about that. The other one is that we have kind of been, Shawnee County's kind of been behind in an offender search program where people in the community can get into the website and see if an inmate is in jail. Most jails of our size have some type of offender search program that is through the internet. We get inundated with questions every day. Doesn't mean that this will restrict anybody from calling the facility. We certainly will provide that customer service, but this again will be just another service to the community that if they're at home or they're at the, if they're at home on the internet or whatever, they can look at our website and they can see if somebody is in jail. And this is kind of another step towards professionalizing our facility and our agency. We'll be working with Pat Oglander and his group in January, so we're hopefully we'll be able to get that as well. But just two projects we're proud of that we think is going to enhance our continue our perception in the community of being friendly with the community and knowing what goes on in the jail and providing enhancing customer service. So I just wanted to announce that. Yes, sir.
Question?
Just a quick, on the second part, when we talk about offenders being part of the offender search, is it going to release just their name at this point, or do you know if it's going to release why they're being held?
I think, I'm going to, Tim's here as well, what we're going to try to do is we're going to look to see what's kind of the common practice. There's a great deal of information that is public information already, which is the inmate's name, their information, race, sex, date of birth, and their charges and their bond, things like. So we're going to be looking at a minimum of what the public information is that can happen. So we're going to be doing that. Also, maybe I'm not sure yet if we're going to put in court information. A lot of times we have to be conscientious of safety, security, especially with high-profile cases, things like that. But right now we haven't really designed it, but we're confident with Pat and his group that we can get it designed. But we're going to do it pretty much what other jails are doing.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else for administrative communications? Treasurer Ma?
Larry Ma, Shawnee County Treasurer. I wanted to address an issue that has come up in the paper, and we've gotten several calls, and that is the fact that we are having our tax payments delivered to a Kansas City, Missouri address. This involves the utilization of lockbox, and lockbox that's not a box, that's a process where we use high-speed machines to open, read, and post the payments. We use the UMB Bank lockbox service. Their center for that service is located in Kansas City, Missouri. Now, we've used that service for several years. Previously, it was with US Bank, whose same process and service center was also located in Kansas City, Missouri. Up until this year, we always had the post office box here in Topeka. And what we would do is have a courier come over once a day, pick that up, all those payments up, a very large number of payments, haul them over to Kansas City, have them processed. As you know, last February, the Postal Service decided to move the sorting facility to Kansas City, Missouri. And so what we had, particularly for the May payments, we had our mail going to Kansas City to be sorted by the Postal Service, only to be returned to Topeka, put in our post office box, and then picked up by our courier and hauled to Kansas City for processing, a minimum of at least 1 or 2 days of delay. So I made the decision to just have those delivered to the Kansas City, Missouri post office box. So we changed the address. And so it appears that our money is going to Kansas City, Missouri, but I can assure everyone that it is deposited in the local UMB Bank. We gained more efficiency. We eliminated the cost of the courier. And by using the Kansas City, Missouri box, UMB Bank now picks the payments up multiple times during the day rather than just once a day. So we're assured that most likely those payments will be handled on the same day they were received. So I'll be glad to answer any questions you might have.
Well, thank you for your response yesterday even. I mean, the response was a great explanation, and I did forward that on to several people who had asked me, so appreciate the quick responsiveness.
Okay, you're welcome. On
Commissioners,
another
did you have
subject,
anything? Yes.
I have made the decision to reduce the hours at the last business day of the month, starting this month.
Okay.
Again, in November, from about 4 o'clock on, our office was effectively empty. And so it made no sense to stay open until 5:30 and incur about $1,000 an hour to keep those offices open. So beginning this month, we will open at 7:30, which is a half hour earlier on the last day of the month, but we will close at the normal 4:30. I did solicit public comment. I got a few comments, all but one were on the positive side, that they agreed with that decision, and I will address the with the one person that objected to that. I will respond to them. But I think it makes sense from a business standpoint.
Okay.
Any questions?
No, I have none. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? We do have a JADO meeting this evening. I will continue my birthday celebration at the JADO meeting at 5:30, and it's at the City Council chambers, so.
Well,
Yes.
if I may, and it is an especially important meeting because at that meeting, we're going to consider approval of the contract with Go to Pica for 2014 as far as economic development. And we welcome public comment at that meeting. And I think everybody needs to remember, this is your tax dollars at work. So we need to hear from the public. And hopefully people will watch on Channel 4, or they'll show up and make comments at that meeting. So thank you, Madam Chair.
And after just reviewing the business plan, just preliminary review, it looks like there's been quite a few adjustments made. And so there's some, with Glenda and with Scott coming on board, there's some additions, and so I think that's encouraging.
Yeah, that's true.
Commissioner Cook, do you have anything?
Nothing
Okay.
further.
Next item, please.
Item 6, executive session.
And there is a need for legal for 10 minutes, not to exceed 10 minutes.
And can we add acquisition of real estate to that?
We can. That's a motion. Is there a second?
Second?
Second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. No action anticipated. Okay.
We had a good discussion about whether we should give them more trips.
I'll get to talk to my editors.
Okay, is it time? Okay. We are back in session, no action required, and we are adjourned.
How have you guys been?
How was your trip?